Hey folks, I'm HP and this is Dr. Pink and welcome to my beginner's blues course here. And so what you can learn here, or I want to give a brief introduction how to start, how to get into it, and how you get the maximum output out of this course. If you want to start with this blues course, you need to at least manage a few chords on the guitar, understand a little bit like the open string chords, G, D, C, probably F with the bar, but that's not really needed. So just the basic, so that you're a little bit technically fluent, that you can go through the entire things. And you need to understand what a scale is, but I'm gonna explain that in detail, and you should be able to somehow manage the difficulties of attacking the strings, like the single strings as I'm doing now. Even Dr. Pink is an electric guitar. You can also do this acoustic guitar. That's no difference at all. Yeah, a few words about blues. Blues is a special musical form. It's pretty unique. Some kind of a special theoretical background. Basically, it has just 3 chords, like as you know. Stuff like this has a special rhythm, this so-called shuffle groove, this one. I'm gonna explain that one in detail. And the improvisation is very easy and to understand. When you got the basic thing, which I'm going to explain in detail, you really the system, the principle is very easy. It's this question, answer, resolution thing. Like you pose a question, give an answer, a musical answer, and at the end you give it a resolution. It's like in real life, where you need to talk to people and find somebody asks something, give an answer, find the resolution out of all this. So that's the whole idea of this blues course. At the end of this course, you will be able to play and understand the theory behind the blues, the chords. You're able to play the needed scale for improvisation, and you're able to improvise, and you give you a little heads up on the rhythm. This shuffle groove is a little bit tricky to understand at the beginning, but it's still very simple once you got it. So that's it about me, Dr. Pink, and this HPCrazy blues beginners course here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So here we're going to talk about the blues form and the blues chords. What is a blues form, or what is a musical form in general? It's a summary of chords played one after each other, and once the form is closed or finished, then repeat the whole thing again. An example. Just very brief one that you understand. If you have a blues form, but that's not a standard blues form, just like you play A, 1 bar A, 1 bar D, 1 bar E, and then you come back to A, so it will be 4 bars, then you play. Since blues is mostly in 4/4, that means that the form explains, you have the rhythm, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, then it starts again 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 bar is finished. So if you have this blues form with 1 bar A, 1 bar D, 1 bar E, 1 bar A, the sound will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's basically what a form is. You have the beat 4/4, and you have the sum of chords which are played. That's what you need to understand, what a form is. Now the rhythm, as I said, you just count the quarter notes. It's like if you hear the drums of a band, or you go for dancing, or I don't know what, you basically go for this quarter, this tuck, 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 tuck. This is the quarter note. And then you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one bar contains 4 of these quarter notes, and this one you count, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's basically the rhythm, the basic rhythm in a bar. Now when we come into a standard blues form, there's several possibilities how you play chords in a blues, and I'm now going to explain the standard blues form. This is most used, and the standard blues form with quick change. These are the 2 most used blues forms, and if you understand those 2, you understand all others as well. So let's check that one out. Now the standard blues form contains this example in the key of A. The name is saying it's the first chord is A7, so, or A. You can play A like this. Oops. So you play A, D. So then you play 4 bars of A. So that means 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now those 4 bars are over. Next comes 2 bars of D. 1, 2, 3. So this D, you can check that in your chord book. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. Then again, 2 bars of A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1 bar of E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 bar of D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 bar of A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 bar of E. Then the whole thing is finished. This is the standard blues form. So that means I'm playing the entire thing now for you that you can hear it for once. And this is the easiest way to play it. As I said in the introduction, the principle is very simple, but the ways to manage can take for years till you always find out new stuff. So the principle is like this. I'm going to play the standard blues form, and the easiest for just playing this quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to D. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Switch to A. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Switch to E. 1. E, D. 3, 4. A. And finally E. And now the form repeats itself. The entire thing starts from the new. So that's what this standard blues form is. There's the blues form with quick change. Is exactly the same thing, just one difference. On the second bar we switch to D. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now it goes to D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was now the standard blues form with quick change, and the prior one was the standard blues form. So we have these 2s. Now, one question might occur, where those do these chords come from? That's pretty simple to explain with the so-called L form. What is the L form? Now, if you have a blues in A, then this is the low E string. So there comes E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, and here is the A. And so on. It's not about the notes now on this one string. Now, but just as the example in A, to find out these 3 chords, you take the L form. So this is the root, A. There was this A, as you remember. Just here is the D, that was this one here, and this makes the L, here comes the E. See? Here's the E. And you can, this way you can do it in any key by using this L form. I mean, if to make it more graphic, you could play the E here, the A here instead of down here as a bar A. The D instead of down here, you play it here as a bar A. The D and the E instead of down here as a bar A here. Now we have we have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, sound pretty similar to the version down here. Which one you choose is up to you. Depends if you can play bar or not, or if you like the chords or not. Now, blues, as I said in the introduction, is a special musical form. There's now I was talking about just major chords like A major, D major, E major, but they are not. They are A7, D7, and E7. You can check your chord book to find out those chords. I make it a little bit easier for you. I just show you these examples here, like down here, A7 instead of this one here. This is the A7 here. Second fret, G string open. So D instead of D, we play D7. Will be this one here, and the E instead of E, we play E7. So it's just here without this one here. Or with the bar A's, instead of A, we play A7. Instead of D, we play D7. That's this one here. See? 7, 7. Without, and the same up here. Yeah. And then it's the same thing as before. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and so on. Yeah, I will not play the entire form again. Just this, so you can see that you can replace the chords with any 7, like any A7 you know, any D7 you know, any E7 you know. And you can check them in the chord book or wherever you find them. There are many possibilities to find out chords, but you need to understand the L form. See? Then the related chord A, A7, D7, E7. You need to understand there is a form that how many times are these chords played in a row and when that is repeat again. So 4 times A, 2 times D7, 2 times A7, 1 bar E7, 1 bar D7, 1 bar A7, and 1 bar E7 will be the standard blues form. Some final notes on this exercise here. You need to understand music contains two things, the form and the rhythm. I'll explain now the form and the chords. In the form you set how many times a chord is played, which is the beat. In this case it's 4/4. That means kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 bar is finished. Comes the next bar, and that's the form. Put in the chord and under the right spot, and then you're able to fulfill the form, and then you learn different types of forms. In this case, the blues standard form or the standard form with quick change. The next thing which comes now is the rhythm, and this is part of the next lesson. In the prior exercises, I was speaking about the form, the elements of music, the form and the rhythm. The prior you learned the form, meaning you have the bars, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. There you put in your chord. Now comes the second element, what you do with the rhythm. And this is part of this little exercise here. And in blues, there are basically two types of rhythm. We have the binary and the I don't know the English word for the shuffle, the blues shuffle. The second one, the blues shuffle, is the more important one. It's, you might already know this one. Is this. So this is the shuffle groove. The binary is pretty easy, just straight ahead. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But you need to know both to understand the difference between. We have the quarter note. This 1, this we count 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you want to play a rhythm in a bar like with A7, I take the A7 here. As a bar, you can take any A7 or any other chord. It's now about the rhythm. Now you count 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can play quarter notes. This 1, 2, 3, 4. That's if you play binary, or in shuffle is the same thing. The difference is between when you play so-called 8 notes. 8 notes, you divide the quarter notes in 2 notes at the same time. So you can count 1, 2, 3, and 8 would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So in between there is something else. So now if you do it binary, it's regularly 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's pretty much the lengths are all the same. Now when it comes to the shuffle groove, which is very important for the blues, it's a little bit more tricky. Now I need to explain to you what is a triplet. A triplet is, as you know now, the rhythm 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the beat. We have the quarter notes. This is just 1. 8 notes. There's 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now triplets will be 3 on this beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like the waltz. Some of you might already dance the waltzes. You count on 3. 1. So this is the beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is now the main pattern of blues, the triplets. The shuffle groove, to understand it correctly, you can either play it by ear, like most of you do that, but it's better to understand it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Shuffle groove is nothing. Then you play the first and the third of the triplets, and you skip the one in between. So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. You skip the triplet in between, and this gives you the exact shuffle groove. So see, I just play it now with one note. It's a little bit more easy than you count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and you just attack the first and third. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, it's pretty easy to understand this. Maybe it needs a little bit of practice that you can do this. Now, when you want to play the original shuffle groove, you just play this. Now, coming back to the form, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have the form, standard blues form in A7, played in shuffle groove. And this sounds now like this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See, this is how it sounds. Now let's check out the shuffle groove on a standard blues form. Now I'm playing a standard blues form in a shuffle groove, just using these bar A7, bar D7, bar E7, but you can use any chord you like, A7, D7 or E7. And now we play it. So this is the 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we switch to D and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 You already noticed that if you want to play properly, you need to damp in between. So it's good if you have a little bit of a damping technique together, but this isn't a part of the lesson here. But it's cool if you damp in between to make it a bit a little bit, you know, pumpy. But if you don't know the damping technique, it doesn't matter. You can also play like this. That's okay. It's just about that you understand the shuffle groove. By finishing now this exercise, you understand the shuffle groove and the difference between the shuffle and the binary groove, the straightaway. If you in some blues forms, of course, you also play straight, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There are some blues or like rock that goes more into rock and roll, or like mixes between that one, that you play straight ahead, but the principle is the same with the standard blues form, but you have those two main things, binary and the shuffle groove. So in this case it would just be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You can do both of them. I mean, it's up to you which you like, but from now on, following the following exercise, I will concentrate a little bit more on the shuffle groove, because it's the mainstream thing in blues is the shuffle groove. So yeah, blues is a special music form. It has only 7 chords, so there's not really a related scale to it, but still everybody's playing a scale to it. And so there is this scale, so-called pentatonics, the minor pentatonics, and there was one scale developed for it extra. It's called the blues scale. It's very near to the pentatonics. So what is pentatonic? The name is saying it. It's a scale out of 5 notes. Then it starts to repeat itself. So this is the A minor pentatonic. Sounds a little bit Chinese, and it is Chinese because it's Chinese music, or Asian music has a lot of pentatonics in it, but it's not about Asia, it's just about the pentatonics. It's a scale out of 5 notes. So let's see how that works. To understand what a scale is, we need to know what a scale is. Stupid sentence. So, a scale is just a summary of notes after each other. There are many scales. There's the major scale, or the minor scale, or now the pentatonics, which is the one which is in your interest, is this one here. And as you hear, these 2 notes sound the same. So this is the root note. What is the root note? If you want to talk about a scale, you need to understand a scale is a summary of notes played after each other. So to define it, you need to know, okay, we're playing now the A minor pentatonic. So the A, that defines the root note. This is the A here. I know it by heart, but if you don't know it, you just count here, and this is the A. So this is the root note. Then comes the rest of the scale, and whoops, here's an A again. This again the root note. Then you continue. Then these were 5 notes. That's why it's called the pentatonics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it starts again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a root again. The root is going to be very important for the improvisation concept after this lesson here. So really pay attention where the root note is. So this is the root. Root, root, root. We can also go even here. So the A minor pentatonics is here. 5th fret, 8, 5th, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. These were the frets I was counting. So this is the A minor pentatonics in the root position. Of course, there are other positions as well, But since this is a beginner's course, one position is enough for you to know, because otherwise it gets too confusing for you. Now when you want to practice the scale, it's very important that you use alternate picking. Mean you work with downstroke and upstroke. So downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke. Oh, I need some air. So downstroke, upstroke. While you practice, also when you pass the root, then you say loud root, 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 root. I know it's a stupid exercise, but this way you learn the fastest where the root note is. So root, root, root. Now when you practice the scale, also just you can do this, then you practice two things at once. Then you practice the rhythm. So in shuffle groove it will be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See? And 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, so that's the way you can practice the scale. Now, I was talking about the blues scale. That one is very cool. There's one additional note, as this one here, this one here. The rest remains the same, and here comes another one. The same note, just one octave below, higher. What is an octave? It's just a tone repeats itself when it goes one octave. Is the same note, but just higher. So here is the blues. This is called the blue note. Here's the blue note. So you can practice the blues scale as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and root and 1 and 2 root. What you also can try, play the scale in triplets. That will be, as I said, 3 per beat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Because for blues, it's gonna be needed that you can play either shuffle or triplets. Then you can play the entire scale first in quarter notes, then in shuffled eighths, and then in triplets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are not quarter notes. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the shuffled eighths come. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And now the triplets. I'm very much aware that the triplets will be a problem for most of you to play it in that speed, but if you can play the scale in that speed, which I did now, then you're pretty much to go. But don't worry if you cannot play that fast. It's just a goal which is set now. But basically, you need the fingers going on here, that you can really play the scale, and that you're a little bit fluent when you want to start to improvise, as shown then in the next exercise. Now the goal of this exercise here was now that you understand what a scale is, how to play it, how to practice, and to use down and up strokes when you practice, because if you most of you will play only down strokes at the beginning. I mean, it's cool. I did the same when I started. But when you want to play faster later on, you need to switch to alternate picking with down and up strokes. So better practicing just the correct way from the beginning. That will save you a lot of time later if you need to change your technique. But on scale, it's unfortunately it's a little bit a technical issue. That means most of you will have difficulties to move the fingers and the pick in the right timing. This is called synchronization. That means when you press, exactly then when you press the string, then you need to attack. So this will be a major difficulty for most of you, which you need to overcome, but this comes through practice. So practice this stuff regularly, then you can become, you can really handle those technical difficulties, and soon you can play freely. And then you're ready to start to improvise, which is pretty cool on blues. So this I'm gonna give you now the easy concept, the basic improvisation concept in the next lesson. In the prior exercise, you have learned the blues form, the blues chords, and the rhythm. So this helps you to understand how you play blues in a very simple way that you more or less can play along with any kind of blues composition. Now, of course, there are a few things which are very, very common, very often used in blues. And these are called those typical chord riffs or blues riffs, or how you can call them, however you want. And I'm going to show some of them to you. And then you can, if you want to use them, then you can use some of them like little modules. Now, this is more, you think the modular way. You can use either this riff or another riff. Yeah, I'm going to show some of you to you, and then we try to put it into a blues form. The most common blues riff is this one here. This one here. What is this? Now, I was talking about chords. So this is a replacement for the A7 chord. Why? Because this is the A. And this, if you take an A7 chord like this, this is just a part of the chord. Now we're doing this little riff. Here's the 5th fret and the 7th fret, and the pinky goes up in the 9th. For some of you, I guess most of you, this is a little bit tricky at the beginning. We can make it a little bit more easy for you now that you at least can follow this. This also works here with open string down here. So we have the open A string and 2nd fret here. See? So for those who cannot play it like this, I'm gonna show the entire thing down here, but you can also do it up here. I'm gonna show the difference between. So this is how it works. Now we're playing this little riff. It goes like this. And one bar, as I told you before in the prior exercises, you need to fill the bar with A7. So this little riff is a replacement for the A7. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now one bar is finished. So this is a replacement for 1 bar A7. Press here in the 2nd fret. So, and now you make, then it goes 1, and now you go up in the 4th, but the open A string stays 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So this, you go up on count 2 or count 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then it repeats itself. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah. So this is now the riff. When it comes to D, you just move down here. Same thing here. Now you play the open D string and the G string. Same thing again. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. If you want to play it up here, you just move down here. 5th, 7th, and pinky up here in the 9th. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's up to you which one you select. I mean, in the key of A, it's easy because you can use the open strings. That's why I'm doing the entire thing here in A, that more or less the less experienced players among you can follow my instructions. Now when it comes to E, you go down here. And And same thing again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or up here, 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah. So now I'm going to play the standard blues form by using this chord riff down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2. Now we switch to D. Three and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now the standard blues form is finished. You can also play it up here as just so that you can compare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. It's just a little bit more complicated because, as I said, it's technical, more advanced, because you have these chords here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And so on, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, so standard blues form up here. Now you can also, as that you can compare, I give a second little riff. This is now a let's do this here. Yeah. So this is another riff which works. We do it down here. Now instead of playing on count of 2, 1 and 2, I play this one here and give a slight little bending. I move the string a little bit like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So this is another riff. Now 1 and 2 and 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So now you can play either the one riff or the other, or combinations. So now let's do combinations. First the riff number 1, then riff number 2. So that means we have 1 bar riff number 1, 1 bar riff number 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So now I always played riff number 1 first, riff number 2, and then I just packed it into the entire blues form. And this way you create more variations. Of course, that's much cooler if you can play variations with the riffs. Or you can create a riff on your own. A more simple riff would be something like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. By the way, I'm using damping technique here. That it sounds like this, but it's not needed, or it's not topic now. With the damping technique, you can also play 2 and 3. That's up to you if you play with damping technique or without damping technique. And 3 and 3 and 4. You can play it even simpler, the riff, and then just mix it up the way you like. Now I showed you 3 simple chord riffs, and the main thing you need to understand is what a chord riff is. You put it into a bar, into the form, and then just play it through the standard or any kind of blues form which you want to play. That's the way you use those chord riffs. You can also develop your own little riffs by just using the shuffle groove or whatever. By the way, if you don't, you can also play those riffs also in binary groove, like. Of course, it's also possible rock and roll, as an example, or those riffs played in binary rhythm. So it's exactly the same, but it's not shuffle, it's binary. But the riffs are the same. So you can play them either this way, put them into the form, and then you're ready to go. Now we come into the really interesting part now. The basic improvisation concept. You now know what a musical form is in blues, the 12-bar standard blues form. There are chords in there, there's a groove, there's a shuffle groove, and there is a scale, which you can use, or two scales, like the minor pentatonics and the blues scale, which is more or less the same, just one note which is different. Now, if you're now able to play the scale fluently, now you want to get into the improvisation. Now, in the prior exercise I was talking about that you need to know where the root note is, because now it becomes important for the basic improvisation concept. I'm going to show you what I mean. This is the blues in A. And so on. Yep. The basic improvisation concept is a little bit out of the life of normal human beings. It's called the question-answer thing, and the resolution, or the discussion, or arguing with somebody. It's you do it like this. You want to argue with somebody, then you pose somebody a question. Say, I don't know, any kind of question. And as in real life, people don't really listen to you, so you need to pose the question a second time. Then you get an answer. And as often in life, you think I don't like the answer, I ask a question again. And then at the end, everything is understood, then you get a resolution. And this is the way the basic improvisation concept works. Coming to the standard blues form, to remember, we have 4 bars. We're playing a blues in A now. We have 4 bars of A, 2 bars of D, 2 bars of A, 1 bar of E, 1 bar of D, 1 bar of A, 1 bar of E. In the first, on the A, you always pose the question. On the D, you always pose the answer. And on the last 4 bars, which is a little bit mixed up, then comes the resolution. So you have 4 bars time to pose your question. And then it comes 2 bars D, then you pose your answer, or tell your answer. Comes A again, you pose a question again, and then comes the resolution. Now what does that mean in music? What does that mean, pose a question in music? I was talking about the pentatonics and the root note. You need to learn the root note by heart. You can create any kind of motif. A motif will be a question or an answer. It's called a motif. And the motif, in the easiest way, starts on the root note and ends on the root note. Means, mostly you pick the middle root note. So start on the root note would be something like this. Something like this. I went away, started on the root note, came back, and here I'm back on the root note. Or it could be even simpler, like, or even more simpler, or more complicated. And my tip for you is keep it simple, because you need to be able to repeat the question several times and remember the answer or remember the question. So that's the tip, keep it simple. Yeah. Now you can pose, let's make a little example. We pose a question. That will be something like this. See? 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And mostly it's cool when you make the question only one bar, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and they make one bar break and just nothing. Because like in real life, it's not good when you talk all the time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you pose a question again. Now comes the answer. To make the answer, the answer has to be different than the question, otherwise it would want to be an answer. So again, start on the root note, probably the high one. See? This will be the answer. This is the high root note here. Then pose a question again. And the resolution probably moves from root to note. Yeah, I forgot that. Now I was just I was starting on one root and came back to the same root, but you can go from root to root. So you can also go this one from the low root to the middle root to the high root. So let's do the resolution like this. Like this. So now we take this 12-bar blues form. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now comes the answer. 3, 4. 1, 3. Question again on the A. Now comes the resolution. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. And now again comes the A again. Question again. And now that's how it works. Now let's do it with the music. The point is on the music, the track, since I did the starter track, I cannot start exactly at the right moment. So sorry for that. The break. So now comes the second question. 1, 2, answer. Comes the question again. Now comes the resolution. Question again. Now it all starts again. Break. Comes the answer. Again the question. Resolution. And question again. Yep. Now I've made two so-called choruses. A chorus is once time the whole form and then everything repeats itself. And if you repeat it twice, you play two choruses. Now comes a problem. What do you do now in the second chorus? Because you don't want to sound boring, because now I play the same thing twice. Now comes the trick. That's why you need to remember what you have played. You need to keep it simple, that you can remember. Now in the second chorus, you can start to do variations. Like on the question was like this. Now maybe the second time we do something which is pretty similar to the original question, but we make a variation like that would be a variation probably. See, this is, or you make, or anything which, now in this case, I made a variation with the rhythm, same notes, but I made a variation with the rhythm. Or you can make a variation with the notes. It was pretty near to the original question, but added an additional note here, down here in the 7th fret. So, and that's the way you do variations. And on the answer was like, that was I think that was the answer. See, I already forgot the exact answer I did. So, and now you can also do variations on that, or whatever, but it has to be pretty near to what you did before. And also the resolution, you can make variations. Now this was a variation on the original resolution. And this way you start to develop your motive. This is called motive development. You develop it and you can go even more outside the box and develop even more that you hardly recognize the original question and answer thing anymore. But still, it's that gives you some kind of, it puts your solo or your improvisation together and makes it sound meaningful. And at the end, you can even go outside the box a little bit, but at the end, you come back with the original question answer. And then you close the circle of your improvisation. And that's what sounds easy from the concept, but you can work like 20, 30 years on this, and you always develop new ideas how you can do this. So let's see. I'm going to show you a little bit now how you can do it. So the original question was like this. Now comes the answer. Oh, that was the answer. Question again. And now resolution. Now we start with variations. Answer. Resolution. Question. And now I go more outside the box. And now at the end, I come back to the original question, and then it's finished. So this is the basic concept, how you improvise the question and answer. I picked up very simple motifs, of course. As I said, keep it simple because you need to remember what you played at the end of your improvisation. Otherwise, you cannot close the circle. And of course, some guys get pulled to play many notes. A lot of my students play much more notes than I do. But keep it simple and try to really follow the concept, and it's going to sound cool. And of course, this is still not the entire blues thing. The next step then would be that you play so-called licks. Easy licks are little melody lines that you give a kind of a repertoire which you can use. But before you play licks, then you need to understand the concept. And then when you start to play outside the box, or you can use licks as motifs or whatever you want. And the point is, the rule is start on the root note, end on the root note. But this is only a beginner's rule, because later you don't need to follow the rule anymore, but it helps you to keep the orientation, what you can do. And the cool thing with blues is it always works out. Really works out, and this way you're never wrong. Yeah, so next time we will learn like 2 or 3 basic licks, and then you're ready to go. This is HP and Dr. Pink, and here in this final exercise of the basic blues course, you learn the like 2 or 3 licks which you can use in your improvisation. Licks are little melody lines which work on little tricks which really help you to sound cool. And like one of my very favorite blues guitar players, Albert Collins, he already died. When you listen to his records, he only plays like 3 licks, but makes cool variations, and then you don't even notice that that he's only playing 3 licks. So I'm gonna show you what licks are, or the 3 which I want to show you. This one. This was one of the most important licks. This is a lick, and this one. Now let's check out these 3 licks. This one is any blues improvisation, like 99.9% of any blues improvisation starts with this lick. Either this one or this one. So, we are in A minor pentatonics, of course. And this one goes like this: 5, 5, then slide from 8 to 10. Or if you make the short version, you just make 5, then slide from 8 to 10. And it's very easy. Or now the point is, especially on the first one, the rhythm. 1, because this doesn't start on the 1. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So this is prior, and so this, if you count, this will be the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. See? Or in this case, this will be the 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So this will be on 4 and. Just this note has to be the 1. Whatever you do, you can also make it slower. Like this. Whatever you do, this one has to be on count 1. So this is a very nice lick. Let's try it. 3. Now start to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. See, it works pretty cool. Now comes the next thing, this one. Yeah. Starts here on the root note. 7, 5, 7, bending. With the bending, you just pull the string. These 2 fingers are helping. Then release again. Attack the string again. 1 and 2 and pull, and then release. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Very easy. If you have difficulties with the bending here, these two fingers are helping. Yep, sounds cool. See? Yeah, good. The last lick, and you can work with these three licks and you already sound pretty cool. This one here. Again with the bending. Do the bending in the 7th fret. And the index finger stays here on the 5th, so make 1 and see, it's already in position, bend, then tack. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Goes like this. 3, 4. Lick 1 and lick 2. Of course, there are many other blues licks to learn, but these were now 3 very basic ones which you always use. And since it's a beginner's course, it doesn't make sense to make too much difficult stuff for you. If you want, you can practice to any kind of backing track. Just remember, this one was in A. You find my backing tracks on iTunes or Spotify. Just search for HPCrazy, and there are those backing tracks. And the keys are marked with keys and the speed. So once again, if you want to just switch the key of the licks, you just move them the way you move the pentatonics, as explained in the scale or in the scale exercise. Just like we were playing our A minor pentatonic. If the key is another one, like in D, you just move this the root note, just move it to D. No, G and D will be here. And then the licks just are inside the pentatonics. Yeah. Good. That was the entire course for Blues for Beginners. I hope you enjoyed it, and we might see them some other time. Me and Dr. Pink are saying goodbye to you.